Some men aren't looking for anything logical, like money. They can't be bought, bullied, reasoned, or negotiated with. Some men just want to watch the world burn.
I consider the Trump administration a danger to the world, but I regard it as a purely temporary phenomenon that will disappear in 2020 or even sooner.
Demonstrations, riots, and violence from coast to coast. Police and protesters packing the streets of our country. With scenes like this in Grand Rapids, Michigan. A row of cars in flames. Fires burning near the White House, even in the Church of Presidents.
But in recent days, our nation has been gripped by professional anarchists, violent mobs, arsonists, looters, criminals, rioters, Antifa, and others.
St. John's Church is on fire. Secret Service officers, one of them just got hurt, clutching his head. We don't know whether that was bricks or firecrackers. There's something on fire. There's a firecracker. It's on fire.
The rioters you have seen want a new system, one that is governed by force. Do what we say or we will hurt you.
The violence and the terrorism we're seeing across the country is unacceptable. This is a terrorist assault on our country. Everyone has a right to speak. You have a right to speak peaceably and exercise the First Amendment. What you don't have a right to do is engage in violence. What you don't have a right to do is loot stores, shatter store windows, light police cars on.
These are not acts of peaceful protest. These are acts of domestic terror. The destruction of innocent life and the spilling of innocent blood is an offense to humanity and a crime against God.
Violent radical elements. Groups of outside radicals and agitators are exploiting the situation to pursue their own separate and violent agenda. In many places, it appears the violence is planned, organized, and driven by anarchic and left extremist groups, far left extremist groups, using Antifa-like tactics, many of whom travel from outside the state to promote the violence. We must have law and order on our streets and in our communities.
You're seeing Antifa protesters take advantage of this crisis to wrongly paint the peaceful protesters as being violent. These Democratic politicians that are treating this as an excuse for partisan politics is really unfortunate, and allowing the riots to...
Justice, not chaos. This is our mission, and we will succeed. 100%, we will succeed. Our country always wins.
All right, everybody, and welcome back. It is part 2, or should I say the second show of the week. Hopefully this time we'll make this one just a little bit more funny than the last one. But so let's get started with what's happened since the last time that we met up and chatted. Let's see. All 3 officers in the George Floyd case are now being charged with murder. They upgraded Derek Chauvin or whatever the fuck his name is. It doesn't really matter. They upgraded his charges from 3rd-degree murder to 2nd-degree murder. And the last time I checked, this was the issue, right? This is what the media was telling us. This is what everybody was rationalizing, why these riots and protests and everything were still happening. It was because the other 3 people were still at home sleeping in their beds and they weren't being charged. So now that they got charged yesterday, this is Thursday that I'm recording this, probably be out either on Friday night or Saturday. Have the riots calmed down? I think not. Yeah, I should take that back. They have. The riots have calmed down in cities that were in states that were smart enough to deploy the fucking National Guard. The help is there. Why not take it? Why just let your city, like, literally, de Blasio is like a day away from it being Escape from New York, and they're going to have to call in fucking Kurt Russell or Dan Crenshaw to go in there and fucking get some law and order going in fucking New York City. Like, I've seen so much footage. A lot of the footage from the fucking cold open was from New York. It looks like fucking Batman Begins after they let go of the fear toxin. It's insane. The only thing that's missing is the Joker. I mean, if you want to discount fucking the real Joker, fucking de Blasio, these police officers are being told to stand down. That's the whole problem is. And now, what's the big rally cry? Defund the police. You got every Democratic bigwig. They want to start tweeting out, or people that campaign on their campaign teams. Hillary's campaign manager. All these people fucking defund the police. Are you fucking crazy? You're sitting here telling us that the whole reason we can't have guns is because the police are going to help us. Not only that, what did I say last week? The reason that we're in these predicaments is because there's not enough training for the police. They need to be trained over and over and over again. Always be training them. You know how it's like ABC, always be closing? For them, it needs to be ABT, always be training. And good police departments do that. They train. They let their officers know what is acceptable use of force. They have them training with different entities to make sure that these things don't happen. And I mean, look, since 2015, they've gone down dramatically. We had, 19 last year? 19, something? 9. I think it was 9, to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure it was under both hands. People that were killed in police custody. Or it's insane. Probably not in police custody. Let me take that back. Let me clear that up. I think there was 9 African Americans killed in police custody. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what color you are. I don't know how many times that I can state that. We're all Americans here. We're all human beings. But honestly, we're all Americans. And we need to understand that we're in the greatest country in the world. So, will the riot stop? Probably not. You got the fucking Massachusetts AG said it would be good for America if it burned down. Obviously, this lady forgets that she took an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America. That is what every public official takes, that they are going to uphold the fucking Constitution. Speaking of people not upholding the Constitution, I know I'm jumping all around here. We're just trying to get through headlines. Fucking West Palm Beach. I live just north of there. The West Palm Beach mayor enacted a curfew, which is fine, needs to happen. I'm all for curfews going on right now because this is how we're going to get the people that want to peacefully protest, which is all fine and good, get their message out, get their pain out, get the statement out. Let's bring awareness. I think that the fact that the media has been covering this nonstop lets you know that everybody's fucking aware now, okay? You had your mass media blackout on Tuesday. You had your, the social media blackout on Tuesday. All this shit. Listen, if the whole point of the protest is to bring awareness, the awareness has been brung. We know. We got it. Everybody, I'm telling you, everybody understands what happened to George Floyd is a tragedy. It shouldn't happen to anybody. It really shouldn't. The man didn't pull a gun. He obviously didn't look like he was resisting arrest. Like I said, maybe down the line, when there's a little bit more information, we can get into the conspiracy theories that are out there about why this is going on. I'd like to keep it to strictly the facts because I've been watching riots and reading all this bullshit. I don't have enough time to go down that rabbit hole right now. I actually have to go to work. I don't get to sit there and peacefully protest all day. So, but getting back to what I was saying, the West Palm Beach mayor puts a emergency order in, puts in a curfew. All fine and good, all for it. What I'm not okay with, and what is not constitutional that this man did, and trust me, it's not going to hold up because he's not too bright to think that this is going to hold up. He restricted gun sales in the city limits, and he also made it so that only police and military personnel can carry weapons or guns. And his reasoning is because the police are stretched too thin dealing with the protests and what could be riots. Again, we go back to what do the left always tell you about guns? You don't need guns. The police will protect you. I'm calling bullshit. What has been going on for the last week and a half now is point blank reasons for why the whole entire country should be open carry. Point blank, no registrations, no nothing. Everybody should be able to carry. Because I'm telling you right now, if everybody knew that everybody else was packing heat, or there could be the potential for that, people wouldn't be acting up the way they are. People would be a little bit more civilized. Just saying. What is going on in this country over the last fucking week and a half is appalling. It's ridiculous. And that's not, like I said, not the peaceful protesters. The First Amendment comes before the Second. I'm all for people speaking their mind. I'm all for people saying whatever they want. But also realize that doesn't mean that you get to attack people that don't have the same point of view as you. So, it is what it is. But yeah, this motherfucker, he basically said even if you have a concealed carry, you are not allowed to carry inside the city. Good luck fucking holding that one up, motherfucker. DeSantis is probably going to step in and tell that clown, like, that shit ain't happening. So, we'll touch more on that. Maybe by the time that you guys actually hear this, that will be old news, and hopefully that's the case. Speaking of the Antifa soy boy pussy motherfuckers, Project Veritas released a video today where they infiltrated the Portland area, like the original like Antifa in the United States. And these people, I mean, I will link how you can get to that video in the notes below. Just go past the fair use disclaimer. I'll make sure it's linked that you can get to the Project Veritas. I would show it on here, but I'm trying to keep these shows a little bit shorter. We're going to show some clips, but I don't have time to show the whole 5-minute infiltration video. But Cliff Notes, they're training them to do eye gouges and maim people and don't get caught on video with weapons because it's going to make us look bad. We need to do dangerous stuff and violent stuff without being caught. They're pussies. They're pussies. And to be honest with you, I'm not for calling to violence, but I'll tell you this right now. We need to go to war with these motherfuckers. They're pushing it to where martial law is going to get enacted in certain places. It ain't going to be good for them. Because the Patriots, we've already seen what happens. We've seen the situations in Oregon when good people meet up with these little fucks. And what happens is when good people that have had enough come into contact with these little bitches and their pussy fucking moves, eye gouges don't work when you're getting fucking dropped with one punch. They don't. They also don't work if you're getting fucking blown the fuck away with a goddamn 12 gauge. So, like I said, eventually, these motherfuckers, they're going to get what's coming to them. I'm a firm believer in what goes around comes around. These motherfucking people are going to catch it. And we've already seen, like, look, where the National Guard is, where the military is going in, this shit ain't happening. It's just not happening. I'm watching right now. They've got a split screen. They're showing Brooklyn, New York. People are still marching, rallying 2 hours after the curfew, so I'm sure some people are going to start getting arrested. And in Atlanta right now, Full Atlanta riot gear. Police looks like they're right downtown near where all that shit was going on. They're ready to start arresting people. It's not going to be good. And speaking of Antifa, Bill Barr came out today. So we had the Project Veritas thing. Bill Barr came out, says that he's prepared to release docs of who's funding and supporting Antifa. And to him I say,
seriously, do it. Do it. Do it.
Don't fucking say this shit. Just fucking do it. All right? Let's go Nike here. Just fucking do it. Because I guarantee you, these people that are supporting this, I guarantee you there's some high up people on the Democratic Party. I guarantee it. I'd be willing to put my fucking paychecks for a whole year that there are some high up Democratic people. You know. But you know, the news will never cover it. They're too worried, like I said last time. They're worried about Trump and his staged photo op. Like, let's go to this footage of Jim Acosta giving the press secretary asking some bullshit question about a staged photo op and fucking tear gassing the protesters, which, first of all, they already said it was not tear gas, it was smoke grenades. So let's go to that.
So let me first address no tear gas was used and no rubber bullets were used. So again, no tear gas was used, no rubber bullets were used.
Why making that distinction? Chemical agents were used.
Let me back up and
Episcopal priest who said she was gassed. Others say they were tear gassed in that area.
Well, no one was tear gassed. Let me make that clear. That's been confirmed by DOD and by Park Services as well. So let me go back and address what happened because there's been a lot of misreporting. First, I would note that these protests that were going on, in the morning, AG Barr had determined that we needed to expand the perimeter by 1 block on each side. He was surprised, AG Barr, when he arrived at the White House to see that that perimeter had not been moved. So he said that we needed to get going with moving that perimeter. He told the officers that out there. That was late afternoon. So that decision was made in the morning, first of all. The protesters were told 3 times over loudspeaker that they needed to move. And what happened was it grew increasingly unruly. There were projectiles being thrown at officers. Frozen water bottles were being thrown at officers. Various other projectiles. And the officers had no other choice than in that moment to act and make sure that they were safe and that the perimeter was pushed back because, as we all know, a church was burning in that very area the night before.
So this guy's fucking Looney Tunes. What is wrong with going to where they just burned down the Church of the Presidents, holding up a Bible, and letting people know that we need to be more peaceful and come together and unite? But no, it was a staged photo op, and he cleared out protesters. First of all, those fucking people don't need to be anywhere near the White House, okay? Not only that, they were not peaceful. They were throwing bottles and shit. Everybody said it. They want to release this photo of Bill Barr talking to people, which was probably after the fucking fact. It was probably after. If I had to guess, that was after this whole walking over. He probably went over and said, hey, good job getting these people cleared out, not giving orders. And speaking of fucking retarded motherfuckers, anybody see Crazy Aunt Nancy? Fucking the person that won't allow Congress to come back into session and wants to proxy vote because of coronavirus. But she's out there walking amongst the protesters in D.C. Let's go to the footage.
That is the Capitol grounds and absolutely not Lafayette Park. I just saw the dome in the background. So perhaps she is headed to a demonstration. But Melissa, I wanted to tell you that since we've been having our conversation, the court system in Minneapolis has put on its website, indeed, the charge has been upgraded from murder 3 to murder 2. And to piggyback on your earlier comments, I am guessing what prosecutors want so badly to avoid is kind of overshooting the target on a murder charge, applying a murder charge that they can walk away from a courtroom. That is.
Yeah, see, listen, I'm going to call bullshit on Trump was controlling the police and telling them to tear gas people. Because if there was a time to fucking shoot tear gas into protesters, it's when that stupid fucking bitch is out there. That would have been classic. They found out Nancy's out there. They're fucking tear gassing her. You know, she's fucking reaching for milk. Then she gets the milk and pours it in her eyes. And she's like, somebody bring me some vodka. I need a White Russian out of this. Just get the fuck out of here. This is the lady who's pushing proxy voting. She wants to pass bills with 22 people. She wants full mail-in voting because of coronavirus. And you're out there amongst all these people not social distancing. But Congress can't come back. People that are being tested can't come back. Like, you guys can't get a hold of a fucking test and make sure. The UFC can get them for their fucking fighters, and you guys can't get it to pass bills to do one of the most important jobs in the whole entire country, which is create the laws and get these things passed. No, you don't want to do that. Because what you want to do is you're worried that some people in some constituencies aren't going to vote for you with your bullshit. Nobody's fucking falling for this nonsense. And then, you know, for God's sakes, let's just get to why. One more thing about George Floyd and the protesting, everything. I just got to get this out. And I know that I said that we were going to stop doing the sports stuff. I will actually, I take that back. It's going to be two things. First, fucking one of the only athletes I got any respect for that with what's going on, and I know this dude has a checkered past, but fucking John Jones, we're going to put up some video right now. This man is out there fucking helping these shop owners board up he's helping them board up their businesses, and he was going out with his friends that are police and fighters and basically arming up, walking through the streets, making sure vandalism wasn't happening, making sure his fucking community wasn't getting ripped apart by this. And he's come out and he said, look, I'm a young black man. I've had my run-ins with the cops. I'm upset about what happened to George Floyd. But again, not getting out of control. And then let's go to the complete other side of the spectrum. LeBron fucking James. This man is the most ignorant motherfucker to ever be an athlete. You can say all you want, like, yo, J.R. Smith chasing motherfuckers down, beating their ass because they were fucking vandalizing his car. You know? Tell me he's not mad that these people are fucking protesting. It's actually affecting him. He fucking ran this asshole down and beat the fuck out of him. But no. So what this is going to go back to is, of course, Colin Kaepernick and the kneeling, and Drew Brees is on Yahoo Sports, and they ask him about how he feels about Kaepernick kneeling. And Drew Brees, who has, I believe, both his grandfathers fought in World War II, and he comes from a military family, and he said, I will never be okay with somebody disrespecting the flag or this country. So that entailed, you know, you get LeBron James going, bro, you don't understand why still? This ain't about disrespecting the country and disrespecting the troops or anything like that. You know, and then so then he's just getting dragged through the mud by all these NFL players. But here's the problem. What's wrong with him having his opinion? He didn't say that he didn't understand what you guys are mad about and why everybody's so upset. I think he was pretty clear about that. What he's saying is that you all, and by you all I mean the athletes, have unlimited time to talk to the press. You can go on radio shows, You have award shows. You literally do press conferences after every game. Why do you need to do that when you're getting paid millions of dollars? Why do you need to disrespect the flag? That's it. It's like this. Why is he not allowed to have an opinion, but you are? How about that? Because we're supposed to be talking about equality. It's supposed to be equal, right? So why is he not allowed to have his opinion, but you guys are? And then on top of it, he's got to come out today, so the next day, and fucking apologize for it. Do you understand what Drew Brees did for New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina? Do you understand the $5 million that he donated during the whole COVID thing? You understand he was the NFL Man of the Year in 2010 for all of his contributions that he makes? The Man of the Year award. The fucking Man of the Year award. And you're going to give him shit. It's fucking ridiculous. And I know why he did it, man. Like, look, he came out and he apologized. Said maybe I need to listen more than I need to speak. But the point is that somebody fucking teed the question up for him. It's not like he brought it up out of nowhere or he just went on his social media and fucking started blasting Kaepernick. He's doing an interview. And somebody asked him the question. He answered the question truthfully. What's he supposed to do? Fucking tiptoe around it and fucking say he's okay with it? It's not like he said when he apologized, he said he was okay with it. He didn't fucking say he was okay with it. He just said, look, I need to say, I need to listen more than when I speak sometimes. I mean, it's ridiculous. Fucking cancel culture, man. Miss me with that shit. You guys you're not going to get anywhere. Nobody's going to get anywhere if you're not willing to listen to the other side and at least have a civil discussion about it. And that's the problem. Nobody wants to have a civil discussion. It's just me. Fuck you and your ideas. That's all it is. It's a joke, and we're never going to get anywhere in this country until we're able to have a real discussion about what's going on. Like I said, this is not a white and black thing. There's probably more white people out protesting this shit than there are black people. That's just the honest to God truth. Like, watch the media and watch the bullshit media. Watch. They're doing nothing but cover it. Count them up, man. There's tons of white people and there's tons of black people. They're united. Problem is that it's just like the police. You got 1% of these assholes going around wreaking havoc, causing a big fucking scene, taking away from what's going on. 1% of cops going around fucking killing people, using excessive force, fucking it up for everybody else. But, like I said, they want to defund the police. You want to fix police brutality? You don't need to defund them. You need to train them better. Because if you think not having police around is going to make the country better, and then on top of it, they want to take away fucking guns and shit, you're fucking crazy. I hate to tell you, but bad people are going to get guns. Drugs have been illegal for how long? They've been illegal since they fucking brought back alcohol after Prohibition. Even if you want to go back to Prohibition, how easy was it to get alcohol during Prohibition? Doesn't matter what you fucking make illegal. People are going to go out and get what the fuck they want and deal with the consequences on the other end. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal to anybody. Why do you think the crime rates are the way that they are? People do things that they want to do, worry about it when they get caught. That's just the way shit is. Some people's moral compass is fucked up. But really, it's Antifa, man. It's Antifa. Antifa is the one that's causing all these problems. These people are domestic terrorists. You don't believe me? Let's go now. I know I teased it last episode. Let's go to Laura Logan right here as she breaks down the Antifa fucking manifesto. All right?
Look at the revolutionary abolitionist movement. What do they want to do here? Liberation is by any means necessary. They're going to destroy the state, police, military, corporations, all who run what they call the American plantation. They'll live in a dignity in a world without prisons. Systems of punishment will be abolished. There'll be no law and no money to protect. So property, they say, is alive. It doesn't belong to anyone. Except they won't really be equal, right? There will be a system, because go down to number 10, militant networks will defend our revolutionary communities. Liberation begins where America dies. So that is what this is about. Liberation begins where America dies. Right now, the white people, you at Fox News, you're the oppressors, right? And this is all about justice for black people and underprivileged communities and the poor. But a few steps down, anyone who owns land is the oppressed. And a few more steps down, anyone with a successful business. And a few more steps down is, do you have a bigger property or resources than I do? And every step along the way, we all become the oppressors. And what they want when they say abolish the police and the army and everything, they want to get rid of all black policemen, black soldiers. It's not just about race. They want us to believe we're divided. They want it to be about Republican, Democrat, but it's not. And every single thing you're seeing is to incite a response, to incite white people, for example, to take up their guns and say, I'm going to defend my homes, and to incite the police to act, to incite the National Guard soldier to pull the trigger and give them exactly what they want, which is an excuse to get rid of this president, to get rid of this administration, and ultimately, liberation begins where America dies. That's what they want. That's in their words. It's not a conspiracy theory. The New York Times should be ashamed of itself for printing such blatant propaganda. Go to their websites. Either you didn't do your job or you're on someone else's team, but you're not serving the Constitution of the United States, because that document is ultimately what it's all about. That's what stands between America now, today, as Americans have known it all their lives, and this world, where America has to die in order for their world to exist.
It's not about black. It's not about protecting anything. It's not about anti-fascist versus fascist. It's not about any of that shit. These people want to burn what this country stands for down to the fucking ground. All right? That's what they want to do. They want to burn America to the ground. If they let these people in, they would fucking burn the Constitution on national fucking TV and try to take over. And like I said, I don't know about you, but I'll be fucking damned if I let that shit happen. This is bigger than Democrats and Republicans. It really is. I mean, it probably isn't, because we all know that the Democrats want to have this social utopia. And that's what it is. These people are willing to burn down what America stands for. And they're symbolically doing it right now by setting ablaze to major cities, war on the cops. Fucking, they're taking advantage of a situation. It's insane. It's just fucking insane. And everybody needs to wake up. But let's not forget why we're here. We're here for one reason, and that's because the Obama administration spied on Trump, and ObaMAGate was getting too big, and we could not let a crisis go to waste. You really couldn't. See, here's the thing. When Ahmaud Arbery, the kid from Georgia that got killed by the two white guys that chased him down because they thought he was suspected of a crime that they heard, and they shot him and killed him. That fit the narrative, but they really wanted they trust me, they would have tried to do it with that. But then this white cop killing black man, that trumps all of it, because then you can fucking start doing the whole let's pull the fucking police out, let's pull all this shit. And one more thing before we get to ObaMAGate. Okay? Just bear with me here. I keep hearing that this is some master chess game of white nationalists that are going in there. Far right wing people are going in there, and they're the ones disguising themselves, and they're setting the communities on fire and stuff. Which, hey, I give it to you. That's a great storyline. Sounds like some real high quality shit. But have you ever talked to these fucking people? Listen, they don't play chess. They play checkers. They're not that smart. They're not thinking 3 fucking moves ahead. All right? That ain't happening. And if that's the case, if it is them, then why are all these Hollywood elite leftists fucking putting up bail money to get them out of jail? Anybody think about that? No, I didn't think so. I think that it sounded good for all y'all that want to fucking throw out some bullshit. Like I said, that bullshit, This is nothing more than the Boston Tea Party. Anything like that. Let's just throw it out there. Hey, we sound really intelligent. Sounds great. Listen, why don't you guys go to Hollywood and write a fucking script? Sounds like a movie script. You know? Sounds like the next fucking action movie script with a suspense thriller twist. Get the fuck out of here. These people are thugs. They're fucking thugs. And while we're crossing over from Obama and thugs, since, you know, you fucking uppity white liberals that want to tell me that Trump using the word thugs to classify Antifa, which, like you guys have already pointed out, is mostly white people going in and burning down black communities. It's just they're not right-wing, they're fucking left-wing. And they're supposed to be on you guys' side, or at least that's what you think, because you keep fucking taking up for them all over social media. You guys remember back, you know, Freddie Gray? You remember that? Baltimore? The riots? Oh, God, what did Obama say? What were the fucking, what? Oh, you know what? Instead of me paraphrasing it, let's just go to the fucking footage. Let's see what your president, you know, because that's the other one I love. That's my president. You understand this fucking cocksucker? Oh, yeah, I said it. He's a fucking cocksucker. You understand on his Twitter profile, he still has president, not former president. He has president. Like he's still fucking running the country and shit. For their bullshit, maybe for their bullshit shadow government, you know? He was trying to become the head of the UN because deep down, guys, when they want to go, what they want to do is they want to get rid of the U.S. That's why Trump pulled us out of the UN. The UN is the model for the New World Order. Okay, but that's another rabbit hole. We'll get to that, you know, a couple more episodes down. Not everybody's ready. It's kind of like Q. We keep you waiting. Eventually, we'll start going down the rabbit hole with these things. But let's go to the footage of Barry and what he had to say after the Freddie Gray riot, since everybody's outraged about Trump calling the fucking Antifa people thugs.
There's no excuse for the kind of violence that we saw yesterday. It is counterproductive. When individuals get crowbars and start prying open doors to loot, they're not protesting. They're not making a statement. They're stealing. When they burn down a building, they're committing arson. And they're destroying and undermining businesses and opportunities in their own communities that rob jobs and opportunity from people in that area. So it is entirely appropriate that the mayor of Baltimore, who I spoke to yesterday, and the governor, who I spoke to yesterday, work to stop that kind of senseless violence and destruction. That is not a protest. That is not a statement. It's people, a handful of people taking advantage of a situation for their own purposes, and they need to be treated as criminals. Now, going back into these communities to try to clean up in the aftermath of a handful of protesters, a handful of criminals and thugs who tore up the place.
Y'all must have forgot.
Oh yeah, y'all must have forgot. That's right. Y'all did. Y'all forgot because that's, you know, that was their thing earlier this week. Before he said he was going to start sending the fucking military in to handle the problem, which he's well within his rights to do, as I explained last episode. But like I said, let's not forget why all this is being allowed to happen and why the media is covering it 24/7. Because ObaMAGate is about to blow the fuck up. Rod Rosenstien, who was the acting attorney general after Jim Comey was fired, he was in the Senate yesterday getting grilled in front of the Judiciary Committee. The old emperor, by the way, I got to say this right now. My mom called me, or I should say she texted me the other day, And she said she wants credit for calling George Soros the emperor, because I always call Lindsey Graham the emperor, but she said that George Soros is the fucking emperor from Star Wars. So I told her, by all means, Mom, you can definitely have credit. And she didn't call to tell me, hey, good show the other day, really enjoyed it. All she said is, I want credit for the emperor. So there you go. By the way, we with all this craziness going on, we went and got Mom her first gun today, and then took her to the shooting range. She did awesome. Fucking shot the target in the dick, like the second shot. So everybody watch out. That's one house you don't want to run up in. But anyways, let's get back to it. So Rod Rosenstien, Lindsey Graham, head of the Judiciary Committee, had him in there, and it was just a fucking spectacular day in the Senate. I'm gonna play, I'm gonna play a couple clips here. So let's go to Lindsey and him just point blank asking Rosenstien, if you knew what you knew now about the fucking FISA shit that you fucking signed off on, so you're the one that signed off on these warrants, would you have done it today? So let's go to that.
You signed a warrant application in June of, I think, 2017 to get the Carter Page warrant renewed. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Have you looked at the Horowitz report?
Yes, I have. I have it with me, Senator.
If you knew then what you know now, would you have signed the warrant application?
No, I would not.
And the reason you wouldn't have is because Mr. Horowitz found that exculpatory information was withheld from the court. Is that correct?
Among other reasons, yes.
Yeah, and somebody actually altered an email.
Correct.
Right. So there were 17 violations that Mr. Horowitz found, but I can't stress enough to the country that he found the most egregious of all. The dossier was the only reason the Carter Page warrant was issued to begin with. And in January 2017, the man who provided Steele with all the information told the FBI it was a bunch of garbage, and they used it twice more. What kind of country is this? What happens to people who do that?
Oh, you don't say, old Rod. You wouldn't have done it today after they've already proven that it's false, and you motherfuckers are basically treasonous cocksuckers in the FBI at a high level. It's no wonder you're fucking gone. Then you got Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz just roasts this motherfucker. And look, I'm not going to lie, guys. I was not the biggest fan of Ted Cruz. My sister's definitely not a big fan of Ted Cruz. She thinks, he's been bought and paid for. But what I will say is, bought and paid for or not, Ted Cruz speaks out and says a lot of shit. Now, whether he's just hopping on the Trump train, because those two motherfuckers were going back and forth during the election, but he's politically aligning himself with a winner in Trump. But I will say that if he wants to do that and he wants to keep bringing up these issues and he wants to keep being in on the Judiciary Committee and fucking roasting these motherfuckers and getting the answers that American people want to hear and getting these people to, he's like, if he was the press secretary, he is like the Jim Acosta to the left when we get into these hearings, because he is asking gotcha question after gotcha question. Like, he basically just said, like, listen to this.
The evidence that has been made public has made clear that the Obama administration targeted his political opponents, targeted President Trump and his campaign, unleashed, weaponized, and politicized the Department of Justice, the FBI, and the intelligence community, and that the decision-making to do so went right up to the very top. We know that on January 4th, 2017, the FBI concluded in a document that has just been released that General Michael Flynn was, quote, no longer a viable candidate to be part of this larger case. Their investigation did not yield any information on which to predicate further investigative efforts. The FBI is closing this investigation. That was January 4th, 2017. The next day, James Comey, the director of the FBI, is sitting in the Oval Office with Barack Obama, with Joe Biden, and James Comey, according to a memo from Susan Rice, one of the most remarkable CYA memos written in Washington, written on her last day in office, an email to herself saying, by the way, this investigation into the National Security Advisor coming in to the new office, the president has said, do it, quote, by the book. She says by the book 3 times. James Comey tells the president, we're investigating Michael Flynn by the book. Well, unless the book is Richard Nixon's Watergate, the day before the FBI said they were closing the investigation, and there's James Comey telling Barack Obama, we're going after General Flynn, a decorated 3-star general, the incoming national security advisor of the president, with Joe Biden sitting right there nodding along. Joe Biden himself personally unmasks Michael Flynn's name.
I like I said, you can love him or hate him. I'm not saying, like I said, I was a Trump supporter. I was on Trump 100%. I know he was the last one to drop out after little Marco, who's from down where I'm at. But yeah, he does his job in the Senate. I'm happy he's in the Senate, and we need people like him in the Senate for right now. And then the Missouri, the guy from Missouri, I'm not really familiar with him. I'm pretty sure he's new to the committee because I don't remember him being in there when they were doing all this the Mueller report stuff. But Hawley from Missouri, he got into his ass too. So let's go to the clip here of this.
Now you signed off on a FISA application to a federal court in an ex parte proceeding, which means the other side didn't have any chance to argue it. You signed off on it. It had 17 material misstatements, falsehoods, omissions. You signed off on it. You also said at the time you thought it was an above average application.
Correct.
How could you sign off on something with this number of misrepresentations that the FISA court later came back and said, this destroys our trust in the FBI? You signed off on it personally. How could this happen?
I approved the submission of it, and 4 federal judges signed off on it too, Senator, because, like me, they believed that the information had been verified and was accurate.
Did they have a duty to verify the information?
No, the agents had a duty to verify.
Oh, so you did not have a duty to verify the information?
I had a duty.
Your name on the application.
Well, I had a duty to make sure it had been verified.
Did you rubber stamp it?
Senator, the Deputy Attorney General or the Attorney General.
Just answer my question. Did you rubber stamp? You said a second ago to Senator Cruz, you said I didn't rubber stamp it.
If you'd like me to explain, I will. But I certainly.
But you also testified today that you didn't read it. So I'm curious.
No, I didn't say.
How is it? Would you like us to have your testimony read back to you? You said I can't say that I read it. I don't think I read every page. I mean.
Yes, I did say that. Yes. But
okay, so you didn't rubber stamp it, but you didn't read it.
You know, Senator, I have to explain the process.
I think we're familiar with the process.
No,
the OIG gave us the process. By the time it got to you, you had 17 critical errors, falsehoods, omissions, leading a federal court to say they have never seen anything like this and they can't trust anything else the FBI says, and you signed off on it.
So yeah, guys, I know that I'm not really chiming in yet. I'm just going to play all the clips. Then we'll just talk about, like, hey, because somebody's got to show you this shit. Because they sure as fuck weren't showing it on the news. They were too busy talking about George Floyd and talking about riots and the country burning down. So last but not least, I figured that, why just show all the Republicans tearing into his ass? Let's show one of the best of the Democrats. Let's show Mazie Hirono the reason why Hawaii's real close to not being a state anymore, because this bitch is fucking dumb. Oh, and by the way, she had to Skype in because, again, she can't get here apparently.
Federal prosecutors who served under both Republican and Democratic administrations disagreed with you regarding the obstruction of justice issue. And they wrote that they believe President Trump's conduct described in Special Counsel Mueller's report would, quote, result in multiple felony charges for obstruction of justice, end quote. They emphasize that these are not matters of professional judgment. They further noted that to look at these facts and say that a prosecutor could not probably sustain a conviction for obstruction of justice runs counter to logic and experience. So can you explain why you are right and more than 1,000 former DOJ prosecutors are wrong on the issue of obstruction of justice by this president.
Well, Senator, we have a lot more than 1,000 former DOJ prosecutors, and I don't know whether all those people read the entire report or were familiar with all the evidence, but I was, and I believe Attorney General Barr has already explained his conclusion. And Senator, I think it's very important when we complete investigations, we reach conclusions, and the department either determines a case merits prosecution or it does not, and we determine that that case does not merit prosecution. Now, people are free to express contrary opinions, and because
I think I have to repeat myself again. I've read the Mueller report. They did not say that there was not enough evidence with regard to obstruction of justice. They noted, and I disagree with Mueller. I don't know why he didn't come to the conclusion that there was actually enough evidence on the obstruction of justice issue, but that they could not indict the president. That part is really clear.
I think, Senator,
Thank you.
if I may explain, Chairman, I think that's unfair, Senator, because the investigation was concluded. It was.
Yeah, this bitch is listen. That woman is dumb. She's dumb. Like, is that the best Hawaii has to offer? Like, she's like, has she been smoking weed all day? Did she eat a bad fucking pineapple or something? That woman is fucking stupid. Like, I'm not even going to say everybody from Hawaii's dumb because Tulsi's like the best they have to offer. If they were smart, they would have ran Tulsi as the fucking candidate instead of Dementia Joe. Because that man, Jesus Christ. This is how done I am with Joe Biden. All right? I don't even have any fucking clips because I'm not even giving that stupid fuck the time of day. Because as far as I'm concerned, we're in the predicament we're in because of his stupid ass shit. The whole, if you ain't voting for me, you ain't black bullshit. Because that is why the media is running with this fucking thing. And they perpetrated this fucking race war. Because they got to get these people back on. They got to get them back on their side. All right? Let me just point this out, okay? This is the easiest way to explain to you the difference between Democrats and Republicans or liberals and conservatives, okay? Conservatives have based their whole way of governing and their ideals around a belief system and their moral compass of what they think is the right way for this country to be run, standing up for people's rights, and going right down the line with just being how America's supposed to be, okay? In their image. What liberals do, or what the Democrats do, is they just they want to represent all these different people. So they want to get the blacks. They want to get the alphabet people. They want to get the immigrants, especially the illegal immigrants. They bank on picking up all the people that have a slightly different view than what the majority of conservative America wants. And then what they also get is they get the white people. They get the white people that want to sit in a park and bow down and ask for forgiveness from black people for slavery that they had nothing to do with. And they get academics. That's the other one they get. They get the people that they think that they're so smart and spiritually enlightened that they just have to, even though most of the shit they say makes no fucking sense. They just think because they got a fucking diploma hanging on their wall and they got a liberal arts degree that they're just the smartest fucking person in the world. And I get it. Listen, a lot of it is the older people that are Democrats. I get it. If you're older, okay? Like if you're in your 70s, you remember when Kennedy and you remember, you don't look at LBJ as the racist guy that signed. You just look at him as the guy that signed in the civil rights, and you get your peanut farmer, And then of course, you guys, they ran the first black president. And everybody, listen, the most racist country in the world, all voted for a black, we voted for a black president, not once, but twice. Not once, but twice. But it's the most racist country in the world. Obviously, these well-cultured people haven't been around the world like they think they have. So you've got that's what it comes down to. They have to get all of those people to line up, because what they're going to do is they basically are buying votes. Hey, we're going to pass this law for the gays. Hey, we're going to pass this thing that's going to have this program for the blacks. We're going to pass this program for this, and we're going to make sure illegal aliens get welfare and food stamps and all this stuff, even though they're still not part of the country, because we need the votes, and that's how we're going to maintain power. But what I will say is this: liberals that are like 50, I wouldn't even say that. I'd say like mid 40s up until about 70, right? Those people, those are the racist. Those are the most racist people in the country, if we really want to get down to it, because most of them, if you're a white liberal that's in that age group, this is why, and you fucking hate Trump. This is why you hate Trump. Most of them have figured out a way to work the way the system was before Trump came in and started slashing regulations and low unemployment and the stock market going through the roof. And they were the ones, they were some of the only ones that they could own all the property. They were the ones that were able to get and go and buy multiple properties, because they lived in they got right in that little bubble where they could take advantage of the Reagan era and make some money in the 80s when the last time the economy was really booming, before fucking Billy Boy fucked it up, okay? And really that started, I shouldn't just blame it on Bill, but NAFTA really fucked a lot of shit up. But it really started with the first Bush, because all these people from the first Bush on, it's all been fuckery. It's all the same shit. It's just some of them are rhinos, some of them are Democrats. They're all evil fucking people. When it's all said and done, you're gonna find out they're all evil people. But let me just get this out, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say about this show. We've had a good time, but I'm trying to keep it under an hour now, guys. Just because, one, it's easier to edit, and because I don't have my guests today. We can't bounce things off. It's just me rambling. It's okay. We're having a good time. There's been a lot more jokes than the last show. Last show I had to get deep, let you know how I really feel. I'm not some fucking ignorant person. I actually do care about humanity, just like most fucking normal people do. I'm not going to sit there, though, and watch my country be burned to the ground and fucking make up reasons for why I should fucking feel bad for people that are being fucking stupid. So, getting back to what I was saying, those people, the reason that they hate Trump, the reason they're Democrats, the reason that they want things to go back to the way it was is because they felt like they had some power. They were the only ones. They figured out how to work the system, and they're mad because more people are prospering with what was going on over the last 3 years. More people were able to buy homes, but not just buy homes so the banks could take the shit back, like what they did to us in the early 2000s when the second Bush was president. More people were getting in the stock market and making money. More people were fucking able to put savings in. More people were able to live better lives. And what it was is these people felt like they had some sort of system figured out, to where they had a little bit more power over everybody. They were the ones buying up all the fucking real estate, and then that people had to fucking rent from them. Okay? Anybody that fucking has some money and is older and is a Democrat, they literally do not like the fact that unemployment was at the lowest it ever was. That people had more money in their paychecks, that people were able to put some savings together, that people were able to invest in the stock market and make some money, that people were able to buy property. and really start to get ahead and really start to live the American dream. Because what they want is they want to feed off you while they're the ones that get to live the American dream. And the less people that are living the American dream on that side, those people, they feel like they got power over everybody because they're the ones that figured out the system. They're the ones that took advantage of the 80s. And for people like me that are in their 30s and that are coming into the time where, you know, I should be starting a family and getting married and all these things and you know, start really living my life and figuring things out and getting this stuff done. This is our chance for us to have our 80s thing. But instead of just a select few people being able to grasp onto it and hold on to it, because now we got prison reform. President signed prison reform, right? So with prison reform, you know what that means? That means there ain't no war on drugs like they had in the 80s to get all the minorities fucking locked up so that they're not able to prosper. Because the more people that prosper in this country, the better this country's going to be. We're going to be able to fucking have more businesses started here, which means more small businesses, which is the lifeblood of the economy, which was being shattered by this COVID, which is being shattered by these people that are fucking going in and burning down these fucking inner city communities and burning down, like, just, it's ridiculous. But that right there, that's what's going to make America prosper. We don't need just all these big-time corporations that are sending jobs over to China and paying for cheap labor. That's why the USMCA is great, because what they did was they made Mexico say, look, you guys need to up what you pay people so that our companies don't want to leave, but also so that it makes it more appealing for people that live here to stay here and prosper in your country. And it's the same thing with Canada. Hey, look, can you guys raise the wage? Shit, for you, it's even better, Canada, because you're going to tax them 40% on the upped wage. You're going to bring more money in. What's so wrong with that? Nothing. The answer to that is nothing. As long as it holds up, that is a well-written deal. That is called being innovative. You go in, you take something that's broken, you take all the broken pieces out of it, you fucking fix it. Okay? So I don't know. I don't get it. I don't understand how so many people hate this man. I don't. I shouldn't have to spend the last 15 minutes of my show explaining to people why we are living in a time when I don't get it. Why can't you guys just fucking look at what he's doing with his policies? Could you imagine if I get it. It's because the media, it's the fucking media. It's the media and it's the fucking Democrat people who are just like the people that are higher up, that are older, that are successful, that voted for him. They don't like when more people are in power. They want you poor. They want you impoverished. They want you having to fucking suckle at the teat of the Democrat Party. That's what they want. It's the problem. That's why I'm telling you, people are starting to wake up. There's more and more people starting to wake up and realize this. So before I go, I'm going to leave you with one of the best videos I've seen all week. I'm just happy to see more and more people waking the fuck up. So we're going to go to this video here, and then hopefully on Saturday, which is maybe the day that this is going to get released. So I'm going to be able to have my guests over. We're going to have a normal weekly Wake Up Call podcast. And I should see you guys all on Monday.
Trump is not fighting against you. Trump is not fighting against black people. He's not fighting against Spanish people. He's not fighting against transgender. He's not fighting against Mexicans or none of that shit. Trump is fighting against globalists. Globalists that don't have nothing to do with none of us. Globalists. There are people who believe in one world order, one world agenda, the bankers, the money, the movie makers. They the ones who hate Trump for a reason, because he's not their plan. He's not part of their agenda. Trump done went over there, got North Korea to put down their guns. He done squashed the beef with motherfucking Russia. He done told China to stop playing with us and pay us our money. Went to the European Union, told them that y'all owe us money, time to pay up, or y'all not gonna get no security. He done cut the goddamn corporate tax from 35% to 21%, making us more fucking competitive in the global market. Black people unemployment rate is at its all-time low. Women's unemployment rate all-time low. Spanish people unemployment rate all-time low. You got jobs coming back to Pennsylvania, people pouring steel again in America, shit that they said that we wasn't gonna never have again. And they still try to make this a black and white issue. Now is not the time for angry black people to stand up. Now is not the time for fucking angry Mexicans to stand up. Now is not the time for fucking transgenders to stand up. Now is the time for fucking patriots to stand up. Patriots who love America. When I found out, it's most motherfuckers don't like America. They say fuck America when it's all said and done at the end of the argument. It's time for patriots to stand up. I understand America got a rough history, but a lot of people died for this country that was black, who died for this country too, and you just don't love the country. Go the fuck somewhere else. Go somewhere else if you don't like America, okay? Because this shit ain't about you. I'm black. I don't even know white people. This shit ain't even about me. This is about America. We've been losing on every fucking thing, on everybody money across the world, but nobody don't owe us shit. China's stealing all our intellectual properties and selling to the rest of the world for pennies on the fucking dollar. We losing. This man trying to stand up for the country. We can fix the rest of this shit later. First, we got to save the motherfucking shit.
God bless everybody. And since we haven't done this for a while, I just got this to say to all of you.
From the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
You can run on for a long time, run on for a long time, run on for a long time. Sooner or later gotta cut you down, sooner or later gotta cut you down. Go tell that long-tongued liar, go and tell that midnight rider, tell the rambler, the gambler, the backbiter, tell him that God's gonna cut him down, tell him